Good morning students. So we welcome to 12th biology biobotany class. So last few days we see the sexual reproduction in plants. That's a different type of reproduction, vegetative, asexual and sexual reproduction. So have you prepared for these previous portions? So all of you thoroughly prepared. Every day you have to prepare the lesson and you should make a question and also with prepare the answers thoroughly, so then only it will be easy for your examination. So today we will see the female reproductive part of a flower. What's the heading? Female reproductive part of a flower. So all of you know that gynoecium is the female reproductive part of a flower. Gynoecium. So when you tease the flower or open the flower, so this part is called as an gynoecium. So this part only. So this called is a gynoecium. This is a female reproductive part of a flower. It represents the one or more pistils of a flower. One or more. So this gynoecium represents the one or more pistils of a flower. Some flowers have only one gynoecium. Some are also many gynoecium. So that is called, we are saying in a multicarpellary. So what is a pistil? What is a pistil? Full part gynoecium is otherwise called as a pistil. It consists of stigma, style and ovary. So gynoecium is otherwise called as a pistil. It consists of ovary, style and stigma. So that is this pistil word is derived from a carpel. The pistil is derived from a carpel. The word ovary represents or consists of number of ovule. So when we cut the ovary, you look like a small granule-like structures are there. This is called as the ovules. Called as ovule. So already you have studied in 10th standard. What are the post-fertilization changes in a flower? So this ovary develops into fruit, ovule develops into seed. So when you cut the ovary, we see many ovules in the ovary. So depending upon the number of ovules, present in a gynoecium, it is called monocarpellary, bicarpellary, tricarpellary, tetracarpellary or pentacarpellary. So depending upon the number of ovules in a ovary, it is said to be monocarpellary, bicarpellary, tricarpellary, multicarpellary, etc. If suppose the ovules, only one ovules in a ovary, they are called as a monocarpellary. Only one ovary present in a ovary is called as a monocarpellary. For example, wheat, only one. Paddy, only one. Mango, this is called only one. So this type of plants have only one ovules in a ovary is called as a monocarpellary. Some plants have more than 2 or 5. They are called as a multicarpellary. So there are number of ovules present in a ovary, it is called as a multicarpellary. Example, papaya, orchids, tomato, brinjal and then jackfruit. So these are the examples of a multicarpellary fruit. Sometimes ask in a monocarpellary. So the example is given in your question paper. Find odd one out. So this is a monocarpellary and a multicarpellary. So next we will see describe the structure of ovule. Describe the structure of ovule. Sometimes ask in a 3-mark question or 5-mark question. Draw and label the structure of gynoecium or structure of ovule. Structure of a ovule. That's in a 2-mark question. Draw and label. First we will see what are the parts in the ovule. What are the parts in the ovule? So look at this picture. This is structure of ovule. So already you have studied in a 10th standard. So once again we will recall what are the parts are there. You see micropyle and this white two region is called synergids and the center part is called as a egg, and then these are also located only in the oval shaped structure is called as an embryo sac. So this part is called as a embryo sac, and then the embryo sac within is occupied the nucellus. This is called as a nucellus, and the center part two cells are called as a secondary nucleus. At the basal part of this portion is called as a antipodal. What's the name? Antipodal. That opposite to the micropyle is called as a chellasa. We will see the parts one by one. So the ovule is otherwise called as a megasporangium. Megasporangium. Why ovule is otherwise called as a megasporangium? It is covered by two covering. It is covered by two coverings called integument. So it's called one. This is another one. So that is an ovule or megasporangium is protected by one or two covering. Some plants have only one. That is called, we will see the later, unitegmy. So then two coverings called integument. This is called as outer covering. Outer integument and inner integument. And the stalk of the ovule. This ovule is attached to a stalk. Stalk is called as a funicle. What's the name? Funicle. This ovule is attached by a stalk is called as an ovule. And then the center part of the ovule. The center part of the ovule is made up of a parenchymatous. So this region is also made up of a parenchymatous cells called nucellus. Nucellus. So you are also studied and write in a nucleus only. There is a new word, nucellus. All of you remember this word, nucellus. So the center part of the ovule is made up of a parenchymatous tissue is called as an nucellus, which has a large reserve food material stored in this region. So this is called as for the developing embryo. This also stored in the nutritive function. The ovule is covered with only one covering. Only one covering is called as an unitegmy. If suppose the ovule is covered with only one covering is called as a unitegmy. If suppose they are also covered by a two layer is called as a bitegmic ovule. Bitegmic ovule. So and then the basal part of the ovule is called as a chellasa. What's the name? Chellasa. All words are also very difficult. You have to pronounce it in many times, then only you will study it easily. So in this region, there is a large part of the nucellus. It's look like a sac-like structure. So this part is also look like a sac-like structures in the nucellus towards the micropylar end. So it's look like a sac-like structures towards the micropylar end. Micropylar antipodal region is called as an embryo sac or female gamete. So within this nucellus, it's look like a large sac-like structures that is leads to the micropylar and chellasal end. So these portions we are called as an embryo sac or otherwise called as a female gametophyte. So this embryo sac is developed from the functional megaspore, like that of a microspore. That's a functional megaspore formed within the nucellus. A single cell acting as a functional megaspore and gives rise to a large embryo sac. In some plants, these inner integument. So this in some plants, some inner integument may be specialized to perform a nutritive function. Sometimes this inner membrane or inner integument act as a nutritive tissue for the developing embryo. This is called an endothelium. Remember this word, endothelium. So what is an endothelium? What is endothelium? All of you remember. So this is the the second part of the anther. When we see the TSF anther in male microspore anther, that is the second layer is called as endothelium. A single layer of a parenchymatous cell, larger cell is called as endothelium. So sometimes ask in a 3-mark question, differentiate between the endothelium and endothelium. So endothelium means the second covering of the anther is called as endothelium. But endothelium means the inner membrane, inner integuments of the ovule has a specialized nutritive function for the development of embryo sac. This is called as an endothelium, or otherwise called as a integumentary tapetum. What's the name? Integumentary tapetum. So this is the best example for Asteraceae. So this is the largest family in the world, is called as Asteraceae. Next one. If the sporogenous cells, what is a sporogenous cells? Already we told that in microspore development. So the hypodermal cells of the female gametophyte, divided into two. The hypodermal cells of the female gametophyte divided into two. Outer parietal layer, inner sporogenous cells is a hypodermal. If suppose the development of the ovule is also hypodermal with a single layer of nucellular tissue, only one layer of a nucellular tissue, around it they are called as an tenninucellate. What's the name? Tenninucellate. So when the sporogenous cells is a hypodermal, it is covered by a single layer of a nucellular tissue, around the embryo sac is called as an tenninucellate. It is a very small nucellus. Suppose the ovule is developed with a subhypodermal. Subhypodermal is below. Sporogenous cell is called as a crassinucellate. If suppose the development of the ovule is also takes place subhypodermal. So hypodermal means a tenninucellate, then subhypodermal means a crassinucellate. It has a fairly large nucellular tissue. This is called a nucellus tissue. Then group of cells found at the base of the ovule. The group of tissue found at the base of the ovule between the chalaza and embryo sac. Between the chalaza and embryo sac is called as an hypostasis. So group of cells found between the chalaza and embryo sac. Chalaza and embryo sac is called as a hypostasis. Sometimes two more question. And thick walled cells found above the micropillar, and embryo sac. So there is called as a group of tissue, a group of cells or tissues formed between the chalaza and embryo sac is called as an hypostasis. So this calls, when you see this calls a reverse position, this lower is called as a upper portion. So when the tissue is located in the lower, we are called as a hypostasis. When the tissue is also formed between the micropyle and embryo sac is called as an epistasis. So all of you prepare this question for 5 mark in a public examination. This is important one, prepared it. Next topic is so depending upon the shape of the ovule, they are also classified into different types. First type is called as an orthotrophous ovule. What's the name? Types of ovules called as orthotrophous ovule. Orthotrophous ovule. So this is the structure. So when you inverted this one, this is called orthotrophous ovule. So what is this one? Opening is called as a micropyle. Then closed end is called as a chalaza. Stalk of the ovule is called as a funicle. So the micropyle, chalaza, funicles are lie on in a one vertical line. Is called as an orthotrophous ovule. Example, Pepperaceae. This is also asking a 2 mark question. So second type of ovule is anatrophous ovule. When the micropyle, funicle and chalaza is completely inverted. This is called inverted. position, inverted position. So that's called as lie very close to each other, lie very close to each other. Look here, this funicle, micropyle, chalasa, these are also very close to each other. There is a common type of ovule. At least we are also asking one more question. Which type of ovule is commonly found in angiosperm? They are also asking question. The common type of ovule is called this found in dicot and monocot plant. Dicot and monocot plant. Next is a hemianatropous ovule. Hemianatropous ovule. When these micropyle, chalasa, funicles are transversely, this is a transversely at right angles to the funicle. Right angles to the funicle. Right angles to the funicle is called as an hemianatropous ovule. Hemianatropous ovule. And then gampylotropous ovule. So the funicle, micropylar end, this also curved, more or less bean shaped. It's look like a bean. It's look like a bean shaped structure. So it's called as this type is called as gampylotropous. So the micropylar end is curved, more or less bean shaped structure. This is called as an example, called as gampylotropous. Example, Leguminosae family. And then amphitropous ovule. It is similar to hemianatropous. It's similar to hemianatropous ovule. So this very close, this right angles to each other. This distance is also very less. Distance is also very less. Here also long distance is also very close to each other. This is, it's look like a horseshoe shaped structure is called amphitropous ovule. Example, Alistomyce. Example is Alistomyce. Next one, Sarcinotropous ovule. This funicle is very long. So this part is called as a funicle. The funicle is a very long and surrounded the ovule. So the ovule is completely covered the funicle. This is called as a Sarcinotropous ovule. Example, Cactaceae. Example, Cactaceae. So this topic is also important. Sometimes asked in a diagram or explanation or examples given. So you have to prepare this topic. So next topic is a megasporogenesis or development of female gametophyte. Development of a female gametophyte. The process of development of megasporangium is called megasporogenesis. So the megasporogenesis is also takes place in the hypodermal cell. Hypodermal cells of this gynoecium gives rise to megaspore mother cell. So megaspore mother cell gives rise to megaspore. So the some of these hypodermal cells in the nucellus developed into a megaspore mother cell. Megaspore mother cell that gives rise to megaspore. Some plants in the megaspore mother cell undergo division, that is outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell. Outer parietal cell and inner sporogenous cell, that is gives rise to archisporial cell. So the archisporial cell gives rise to megaspore. So the primary sporogenous cell functions as a megaspore mother cell. Primary sporogenous cell functions as a megaspore mother cell, undergo meiotic division, that is gives rise to 4 haploid megaspores. So these 4 haploid megaspores are arranged in a linear tetrad manner. So in this called as some of the cells arranged in the chala cell and some are arranged in a micropylar end. So these of these 4 cells, only the chala cell end of this megaspore cell is also functional. The another 3 cells are degenerated. If suppose the megaspore development, only one megaspore Only one megaspore is developed in the embryo sac is called as a monosporic type. Monosporic type. Example polygonum. Example polygonum. So of these four megaspores, only one of the megaspores formed an embryo sac is called as an monosporic development. Example polygonum. If suppose the two cells are involved in the megaspore formation, this is called as an bisporic development. Example allium. Example allium. If all the four megaspores are involved in the embryo sac, it is called as an tetrasporic type. Tetrasporic type. Example peperomia. Example peperomia. This all asking a one mark question. What is a monosporic? What is a bisporic? What is a tetrasporic? Or write the different types of megaspore development. You should write these things. You will get a 3 marks. Next one is a development of monosporic embryo sac. This is also a 5 mark question. The functional megaspore cell is the first cell of the female gametophyte. The functional megaspore is the first cell of a female gametophyte. What is the first cell of a male gametophyte? Microspore is the first cell of the male gametophyte. Remember this point. So when you compare to male gametophyte and female gametophyte. So microspore is the first cell of a male gametophyte. Here megaspore is the first cell of the female gametophyte. First cell of the female gametophyte. So megaspore is the first cell of the female gametophyte. So this is called the functional megaspore is a uninucleate cell. These cells elongates undergo mitotic cell division without any wall formation, without any cellular divisions within the megaspores. Then these two cells are also enlarged. A large central vacuole appear between the two daughter cell. A central large vacuole appears between the two daughter nuclei. It expands towards the opposite poles and to the embryo sac. This functional megaspore, two daughter cells divide twice mitotically and gives rise to four daughter cell. The four daughter cells are also moved towards the pole. The four daughter cells moves towards the chalacellian and four daughter cells moves towards the mycopylarian. So of these four cells, the first three cells are organized into an egg apparatus. So what is an egg apparatus? It consists of egg and two synergids. Consists of egg cell and synergids. So of the four cells, three cells are also forming the egg apparatus. Egg apparatus consists of an egg cell and two synergids. And then chelacell end of the four cells, the three cells are also forming the antipodal cell. So remaining two cells are left. So here one and that is. So these two cells. So these two cells are moved towards the central cell, and unite to form a secondary nucleus. So all I have studied in 10th standard, the secondary nucleus fused with the male gamete to producing the triploid nucleus. So for the developing embryo. So I studied in 10th standard. So these two secondary nucleus are also forming this center, at the center. And then a special cellular thickening in the micropylary end. A special thickening occur in the micropylary end is called as a billiform apparatus. What's the name? Billiform apparatus. So this is also helps for the absorption, conduction and nutrition from nucellus to embryo sac, So the biliform apparatus also absorbs the conduction of food material from nucellus to embryo sac. It also helps to leading the development of pollen tube, that is also reaching the pollen tube into the egg. It also helps in the biliform apparatus. Sometimes ask in one more question, in most of the plants, 7-celled embryo sac, 8 nucleated embryo sac. So most of the angiosperms have a 7-celled 8 nucleated embryo sac is formed. So very, very important. What is a 7-celled? Here also 3, then upper end also 3, 6. This also considered for 1. This is called 7-celled. So antipodals 3, biliform egg apparatus 3, 6, central nucleus 1, 7. This is called a 7-celled embryo sac. How many nucleus are there? 8 nucleus. Here 3, then upper 3, and then middle secondary nucleus 2. So totally 8. In most of the angiosperm, 7-celled 8 nucleated embryo sac is formed. This question is asking one more question. So next one, homework. Next, I will give some homework. Describe the structure of ovule. 5 more question. Explain the types of ovule. So at least explain this each heading. You should draw a rough diagram. Describe the development of monosporic embryo sac. What is endothelium? Draw and label the structure of LS of ovule. Explain the following terms: egg apparatus, filiform apparatus, micropyle and nucellus. So I hope that all of you prepared well every day. So I will give a small homework every day. At least you have to read this topic thoroughly and prepared well little by little. So thank you.